this kid safari, we're gonna make
Root beer!
root beer. That's right. We have a kit by Mr. Root Beer to make root beer. Step one, before you make anything, is being clean. So we are gonna wash our hands. We're gonna wash the bottles we're gonna use. We're gonna wash them really, really good. We're gonna use this big bucket to mix everything in. I like this bucket because not only does it say the exact level of gallons, right now there's hot water in there up to about 2 gallons. There's also a spigot where we can actually pour it out into the bottles. Is that cool, Lila?
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then this stuff, this kit has some stuff for cleaning in it already. We got the flavor crystals and we have no rinse cleanser. It is a food grade cleanser. So we're gonna mix this into this water inside this bucket that's been washed out with hot water. We'll add this to it and then we'll soak and scrub everything that we are gonna cook with to make sure it's nice and clean. Hey. Okay, Lila, dump it in.
Okay.
I gotta make sure it's all in there. Now I'm gonna use this spoon, stir it up. We want that solution to clean everything. In fact, I'll just keep that spoon in there so it keeps things clean. And I'm gonna add these bottles. And we're gonna soak them for a little bit. And we're gonna fill them up using a spigot. Is the top one good? Nope, it's not on good. Here.
Wait,
Watch it.
snap this
Yep,
down.
you snap it down. Takes a little muscle. Watch out. So yeah, you put the lid on like that.
I'm trying.
Then snap it down so it's good and tight. That way when it carbonates, it won't explode out. So I'm filling up bottles. Filling up with that sanitizing solution. The outside gets clean, but more importantly, the inside is clean. It makes it feel kind of slippery, huh, Lila?
Yeah.
Because it's like a soap. And so we put that top piece on there. Watch your fingers, or can you do it? Yeah, do that. There you go. Nice and tight. Go, 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 go. Push, push it hard. Push it hard. Yay, you did it. Okay, now give it a good shaking. We're shaking it up so that that solution, give it more shaking. Give it more shaking. We want it to really scrub the inside of there.
It's like a tornado inside when you look inside the clear
Huh.
glass.
Now we got this one nice and full of solution. Wait, let's pop the top on. Can you do it?
Yeah.
You did one before, so I think you can do it again. So we're taking the caps off, dumping out the solution, the cleaning solution, and then we're standing up on what's called a bottle tree. It's like a big Christmas tree for bottles, huh, Lila?
Yeah.
We're standing on here so they can dry. See, it dries out, catches it in this little reservoir at the bottom. And once they're all dry, we'll fill them up with
Root beer!
Now we are adding water into this bucket. I'm using only filtered water. We've already added some filtered water in there. This water's been through our Brita filter. And we're going up to the 2-gallon mark. We're doing a full 2-gallon batch. So there's a little tear part already started. It comes with it that way. I really think these things are made for kids, or kids to do with their dads. Or moms, of course. Alright, so now that's open enough. We're going to pour this in here.
Okay.
Can you do it?
All of it.
All of it right into there. Ooh. Like, hey, what does that smell like, Lili?
Root beer!
It does smell like root beer. Cool. Get all that stuff out of it.
Are we going to put this stuff in the cups?
We're going to put it into the bottles.
Okay.
Alright, one more. Go ahead and tear that open.
We do.
There's a tear already started right there. Make sure you hold on to it really good and tight. We don't want to drop it and spill this. pour it only in there. There we go. Ooh, nice and dark. Okay. Next we have what they call flavor crystals. This is like maltodextrin, I believe, and see, it probably even says it. No, it doesn't. But I watched a video that said that that's what this is. You use that in making beers as well as root beers, and so it's supposed to add like fullness to it. So keep opening it up, bud. We're gonna dump only that into here,
Okay.
not anywhere else. Right into there. There we go. Pouring it all into the mixture. We're going to use that spoon to stir it up, and that's why we sanitized that spoon in the cleanser earlier. So we'll get the other packet in there, and we'll get it all stirred up. The instructions say to add 1 cup of brown sugar per gallon, so we've got 2 cups of brown sugar, and we can dump this in while Lysander's stirring. Ooh, plopped. Alright, stir that in good. Make sure it mixes up really well and dissolves all the sugar. It also says 2 cups of white sugar per gallon. That is 6 cups of sugar. That sounds like way too much to me. I don't want my kids eating that much sugar. We're going to give this a shot cutting out 2 cups of sugar. So instead of 6, we're going to go with 4. And that sounds like already still a lot of sugar to me. So you can either follow the instructions or get adventurous like we do. Right, bud?
Yeah.
Right, now we have 2 cups of sugar. We're going to add that in. Okay, Lila, stir it up real good. Alright, we have the last ingredient. Yeast. Yeast, yeah. You use yeast in this. Just like you use for making beer, you use yeast. So, if we were making beer, we would let this ferment for weeks and it creates alcohol. But we're making something for kids, so we're not going to have alcohol in it, right? We want it to be something kids can drink. So we
Whoa! It's like ghosts are in there.
Ooh, does look like ghosts. We're going to add the yeast, we're going to mix it all up, and we're going to pour it straight into the bottles, and we will do it for only 3 days. So it doesn't make alcohol. But Lila, get this. This is what happens with the science behind root beer. The yeast eats the sugars and then farts out carbonation.
Oh.
Carbonation's like little bubbles inside of your drinks. It is the old-fashioned, very natural way to add carbonation to root beer. So the yeast eats the sugar and then farts out carbonation, and that's what gives it all the bubbles. And because it's trapped in an airtight bottle, like one of these will be airtight, the carbonation gets fused with the root beer, and so it'll be nice and bubbly. So we'll put it in there for 3 days, and then we'll put it in the fridge for a day, and then it should be good to drink. So let's go ahead and add the yeast. Okay, here we go. Lila's gonna pour it in.
Wait, spreading up and eating the sugar.
Well, it's getting started, I suppose. Now grab the spoon. We want to stir this in nice and good. We want even amounts of yeast in every drop.
What are those little things in there?
What, the pieces of yeast? It's kind of clumping together. We need to stir really good. We need it to mix in really, really good. Now we put the bottle up to the spigot, turn on the spigot, and it's starting to fill root beer into there. Always a mess. So yeast works best in a cool, dry place that's dark. So we have all the bottles in this box inside of the little pantry that we have, and we can shut the door, keep it dark.
Science.
Keep it dark, and wait 3 days. We'll put it in the fridge, wait 1 more day, and it should be ready to drink. Okay, here we go. It's been 3 days. Now, when we were done, what did we do, Lila? Did we add something?
We added a balloon, so when the yeast eats it and farts it out, that's all the fart.
Yeah, the yeast eats the sugar, farts out carbonation, which is gas. So if you don't put a lid on, it creates gas that filled up a balloon. Isn't that science?
Yeah.
Is that kind of cool?
Yeah.
So in there is the root beer, and the yeast has filled it up with gas so much that it filled up this balloon. Now we're gonna take all these bottles and we're gonna put them into the fridge.
And tomorrow we get to drink them. It'll be so yummy drinking them.
What we have here is
Groot Beer.
Groot Beer. Lysander came up with the name, instead of root beer, Groot Beer. And so on all the bottles we made labels that say Groot Beer. We've got frosty mugs out. We're gonna start off with the science experiment one. Let's see how this goes.
Okay, let's. Can you do it?
Okay, that looked kind of hard, huh?
Yeah.
Here, hold the camera. Make sure your fingers aren't in the way. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Are you recording that, bud?
Yeah.
So that one came out kind of flat because all the air went up into the balloon. Want to try it?
Okay.
Want to try a little sip?
Tastes kind of weird.
Yeah, because it came out flat. Okay, so now what we can do, we can try a different one. That's a good sound. You want to hear some kss?
Okay. Now you hold the camera.
This didn't fizz up very much. Don't know why.
Okay. Hold.
This one has a little more bubbles though.
Just like a root beer.
Nice! Alright. It's a fun experiment, fun project you can make on your own. What do you want to say, Lila?
Thanks for watching our cool video of Groot Beer. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook or anywhere else. Bye.
Bye.